Good evening and welcome in to the Mythic Lotus and Dragonflies Awesome Healers Training Tele Summit presented by the Mythic Lotus Academy. Shamanism, shaman, shamanic practice. What comes to your mind when you hear these words? Do you think someone with a stick in one hand singing and dancing to the rain gods? Or what is this mumbo jumbo? Or some scene from Dances with Wolves, which is a Kevin Costner movie, by the way? Or is it maybe something to be afraid of? Or do you think high priest or priestess, realms, power animals, healer, journey? Or do you maybe think this is the returning to a more authentic, sovereign way of life, a long, simple, healthy way of life as led by ancestors? Doesn't matter. Irrespective of whatever comes to our mind, it's a good thing we have our expert here today to debunk misconceptions, dispel fears, and actually tell us all about the foundations of shamanic practice, about shamanism and its importance in current times, and take us through this very experiential process. She is an international shamanic practitioner and teacher and facilitator in the areas of shadow work, transgeneration wounds, which is ancestral healing work, inner child work, and dream work. She blends her intuitive wisdom with practical understanding, creating a powerful, holistic approach for emotional and spiritual change in a light, simple, and effortless way. And on an aside, a personal tidbit about her, she doesn't like shopping. And on that note, ladies and gentlemen, are you ready for shamanism, drums, power animals, dancing, divination, and more? You know what you got to do? Please put your hands together for and join me in giving a warm Mystic Lotus welcome to the shamanic expert who makes her debut on our Tele Summit today, Neelam Nanwani. Hi, Neelam. Welcome in. Welcome in.
Hi, Neelu, and thank you for having me. It's such an honor to have all of us today in these times connecting each other through technology. So, warm welcome to all of you and a deep, heartfelt gratitude for Mystic Lotus and all of you for making time, for investing in yourself, for being here, for trying to understand what these teachings are all about. So, thank you so much, Neelu.
Thank you, Neelam. Super excited to have you here. And if it was up to me, I think I just wouldn't say a word and I would just let you, like, Neelam, go do your thing because that's all we want to hear and experience here right now. I will start with this. You have created a beautiful, beautiful altar. It is something that you use in your regular practice and work as well. You shared that with us today with all its meanings. People is on the group. Please do have a look. We will share it with you in the call replay as well. And I know that you also like to start your work even more with a further sacred space being created. So is that happening right now?
Yes.
Nice.
So, in shamanism, all of the work that happens happens in a circle in sacred space. So before we begin our conversation, I would like to invite all of you to take a few deep breaths, to cut your cords with the outer world, to pay attention to all your senses and sensations. Connect deeper with your body. Feel yourself completely in your heart space. And as I gently drum and call upon the divine beings, the elementals, the directions, be open, be curious, pay attention to these words which carry huge medicine within themselves. Allow the beat of the drum to connect with your own heartbeat. It is believed that the sound of one drum is equal to 10 people praying it is believed that the beat of the drum is very similar to that of the heartbeat of the Mother Earth. It is believed and researched that the heartbeat of the mother, which the child listens to inside her womb during the gestation, is similar to that of the sound of the drum. So allow yourself to deeply connect to this ancient sound, to this primordial energy that we know since the beginning of time. Spirit of the East, of that of the rising sun, of new beginnings, of joy, of inspiration, of the element of air, which carries the sound, of clarity, the carrier element. Bring in your clarity, bring in your stories. Allow my words to be clear. Allow my words to be good words, to reach out for the highest good of all. Bring in your stories that we need to hear, that need to be told, to reintegrate the ancient teachings called Shamanism. Spirit of the East, we welcome you into the sacred circle. Aho. Spirit of the South, of that of the midday sun, of the full moon, of the element of fire, of action, of passion, of togetherness, of joy, of family, of charisma. We welcome your transformation and transmutation today in the sacred circle. May these words, may these teachings reach out to the deepest core of your body, mind and spirit and transform and transmute what needs to be transformed today. We welcome your presence, dear one, into the sacred circle. Aho. Spirit of the West, of that of the setting sun, the waning moon, Mama, see, the great womb of the great waters, of our emotions, of our unconscious, of our intuition. We welcome your medicine into the sacred circle today. Bring your intuition, bring your sacred womb medicine, bring your power, bring your intuitiveness, bring your flow and adaptability as we navigate through this conversation for the highest good of all. We welcome your presence into the sacred circle today. Aho. Spirit of the North, of that of the old ones and the ancient ones, our spiritual ancestors, our biological ancestors, the tree people, the rock people, the old ones and the ancient ones. Come, I invite you into the sacred circle. Stand behind me, dear ones. Speak through me. Lead through me. Convey your message of this red road through me. We welcome your presence. We welcome your wisdom. We welcome your sacredness today in the sacred circle. Join us, dear ones. Aho. Grandfather Sky, who sits above us, from your galactic womb we have come on this earth. We invite your protective embrace upon us, dear Grandfather. Hold space for us, guide us, give us your expansive view, the bird's eye view, to understand these teachings, to learn, to come back to the old, and to reintegrate within ourselves what we already know. To remember and to remember. I call upon the star nations, Grandmother Moon, Father Sun, all the angels and archangels that guide, that shine your light upon us. Join us, dear ones. Hold us, protect us. We invite you. Aho. Spirit of Mother Earth, you from whom we have come and to you we shall return, you who hold us in this sacred web of life, may we learn to be of partnership and reciprocity, and may we learn to give back to you, dear Mother. May we just not learn to take, but to give back in thanks, in gratitude, in respect, in honor. And may we learn that in this web of life, we are all one and we are all connected. I call upon you, dear Mother, to join us, to hold us in this circular womb together for the sacred medicine. Please join us, dear Mother Earth. Aho. To the sacredness of the seventh direction, the sacred space within our heart, the direction of now, I call upon you, dear one. It is from this center that may I speak, may I share the wisdom of the old ones and the ancient ones, and may we all learn to be connected to our center, because it is the center of the wheel. Without the center, the spokes of other directions, other elements, other aspects do not exist. May we be connected to each other through this center. I call upon you, dear one. Please join us in the sacred circle. Aho. In any gods, goddesses, deities, light beings, angels, akashic beings, in whomsoever you believe the most, any animal guides, I call upon all of them into the sacred circle today. Dance with us, share your message through us. We call upon you, dear ones, to all our guides and power animals. To the spirit of technology that connects us in these times, to the spirit of mystic Lotus, Dragonflies, to the spirit of shamanic vision, for this great collaboration. For it is in collaboration that we coexist and not in competition. We invite the spirit of all of these three to support us, to join hands, to share the message, to reach far and wide, because it is in these times that we need these teachings the most. To mind, body and spirit of each one of us who are here present, to the food that nourishes us and the homes that shelter us, I call upon your blessings to hold space for us, within each one of us, as we continue with this sharing and conversation. I call upon all the divine beings. I call upon the wisdom present within each one of us, the God and the Goddess self within each one of us, to rise and shine. And with that, we open up the sacred space.
Thank you so much for that, Neelam. Thank you. Um, I just want to share this, that between the setting up even before the call, the altar, now the setting up, further setting up of this sacred circle, the sacred space, even the entire prayer that you said. As far as I'm concerned, Neelam, I'm in the zone. I'm there. I'm right there in the center. I'm letting Mother Earth engulf me. And I will very happily sit in solitude right now. Like, that's how I'm feeling. So thank you. And I can't go sit in solitude right now because we are on a Tele summit call. So we are, and there's a lot more that you're going to experience exactly like this, people. So let's just understand a little bit about the topic at hand. So Neelam, even though I know it's not possible to put, shamanism or shamanic practices like into a nutshell, but in simple terms, what is shamanism, and like, how does it work? I don't even want to understand it honestly. When this prayer has already sent me on one trip right now. So
thank you.
So yeah, what is shamanism, and how does it work for us around that?
So, to put it very simplistically, and I will explain more as we go along, shamanism is considered to be one of the world's most ancient form of spiritual practice. It goes back 10,000 years, and in some cultures, 100,000 years as well. There have been anthropologists, Neelu, who have done study of different indigenous practices and different indigenous cultures across the world. And although the ritualistic thumbprint, the rituals of different cultures, different countries, different regions may have been different, but what they understood is that the crux of the practice across the globe, across the world, across different indigenous cultures in the world is the same. And that is the body of work that in contemporary times we choose to call shamanism. The word shaman per se comes from the Tungus tribe in Siberia, and it simply means to see through the dark. What does that mean? The shaman used to be in the indigenous societies, an elder, a wise man, a priest, a medicine man, who had the capacity, who would transfer into an altered state of consciousness and would journey or travel to these higher dimensions, to which we call in shamanic words as non-ordinary reality. So the reality that we are in is the physical reality, the ordinary reality. The shaman was a bridge between this reality and the higher dimensions. So historically, the tribe would go to the shaman with various problems, health issues, which crop should we grow, where should we move now, where is the animal grazing, what is the enemy strategizing, or any day-to-day questions. And it would be the shaman who would then travel to these alternative realities to bring back learning, wisdom, healing, and messages from those higher dimensions for the ordinary reality, for the tribe, for the people of the land. So that, in nutshell, used to be the shamanic practice. So yeah, I'll explain more as we go along.
Thanks. So, thank you for, and because you just mentioned, it's tens of thousands of years old. It's been around since pretty much the beginning. I remember, Neelam, I think that you had mentioned something about that every other practice has actually come from shamanism, and my first response to you was, no, but Reiki's been around since the beginning. That is where it is all started from, right? And you mentioned something, so please do share that with everyone here.
So these practices were the practices given to the first people of the earth, of how to live life, how to connect to nature, to understand animals, plants. So historically, the shamans were the ones who were the first storytellers, the first doctors, the first healers, the first psychotherapists, the first family therapists, the first anything, the storytellers, the dancers, the artists. And as the societies grew and so-called advancement happened, all the bodies of knowledge that we know today, astronomy, astrology, psychotherapy, touch therapy, crystal therapy, quantum physics, have slowly evolved from the shamanic body of work. I'm sure you would agree that our ancient ancestors, even in India, in the Vedic times and across the world, had more knowledge around scientific truths that we are just beginning to discover through our research. What quantum physics has proved today, the ancient shamans and the indigenous man knew from the beginning of time. If you look at rock art and petroglyphs in these ancient societies, you will see they have scribbled the planets. And even how do we know Vedic astrology? It's come from the ancient times. It's come from how our ancestors observed the planets. There was no Google before, there was no research before, there was no written mode of communication or understanding. So these teachings have evolved through their own connection to plants, to animals, to planets, and to nature and to all of life. And so if wheel of life if we are the wheel of life, then shamanic body of work would be considered to be the hub of that wheel, the center of that wheel. And the different spokes would be the different bodies of knowledge that we know today, which have evolved from this hub. So that's why when we learn shamanism, I always say that we are going back to the teachings which our ancestors once followed. So it's already a part of our DNA. and we are just remembering it and remembering it. So that's why I put out a message on the Telegraph group as well, that we are going back to the ancient truth to remember and remember, because it's we already know, and we, as Neelu, as children, already followed these teachings. But as we grew up and as this cultural conditioning happened, the pressure to make a living, to make money, to marry, to have children, we somewhere down the line curb our natural part of the self. And as humanity has grown, we have moved away from this natural way of being. And that's why I keep saying that these are the teachings that we already have ingrained within ourselves. And because they are the base from where all of the teachings have emerged and everything has emerged.
Nice. And, there are a lot of fears around anything that is mystical or magical, right? And there are a lot of rumors and a lot of misconceptions. And I do want to get to that. Before I do, because we're constantly talking about this is ancient, it's in our DNA, it's been there, it's always been there, it's never really gone away. If it's always been there, what is its relevance in today's times, Neelam? Shamanism in today's times, what is its relevance? Because it's not like we're going to go back and start living in the cave, right? So what is its relevance today?
Thank you for asking. So first of all, you said something else before. What is its relevance in today's times? I want to answer that, but what was that?
Okay, just before that I said it's not like we're going to go back and stay in the cave, live in the caves right now.
No, you mentioned misconception. Shall I talk
about
misconception
and fears? Yes, I do want to get to that. So, however you would like to do it, because I know we want to cover both these things for sure.
Sure. So let me come to the latter part, wherein its relevance in today's times. So let me ask you all a question. How did the ancient man and the indigenous man live?
Hunting, gathering.
And?
Looking at the sky and deciding whether they need to be indoors or outdoors.
What else? What does it imply, Neelu?
So I'm also looking at the group if anybody is putting any responses in. I think, okay, yes. For me, if you're asking me this question specifically, I would say that there was there was an independence and a dependence on nature to give you the signals on what to do. That's how I would.
So would it be safe to say that they lived a life in alignment with the cycles of nature? They lived a life in harmony with nature. They lived a life in partnership and reciprocity with nature.
Right. And people have written in that Claude said they were connected to nature and natural cycles. Correct. Chola says, listen to your heart. Anjali says, direction of the sun and the stars. Lipika says, instinct. Yachna and Chola also say instinct or instinctively. Right.
Right. So instinctively, when we are in touch with our innate instinct, we are in touch with what?
Our inner self? Nature.
With our own true nature, isn't it?
With our own true nature. Right.
Correct. So, and all of you are so correct that they lived a life in alignment with nature. As a result of that, they lived a life in alignment with their own true nature. They're in alignment with their own soul and not with the egoic mind. The egoic mind keeps saying, I need more. And in that process of more and acquisition, and we have led to more control. We have led to more greed. That has led to more insecurity. That has led to more fears. That has led to violence. That has led to wars. That has led to the suppression of the feminine way of being. So we call ourselves progressive. Pardon me for offending all of you. We have not progressed. We have gone back. Because the ancient man was far more progressive in his understanding, in his or her observation, knowing and living a life in alignment with who he truly was and with nature. There was no abuse of nature. There was no domination of nature. That I keep using the words partnership because that is what shamanism teaches us. It is partnership with spirit. It is reciprocity. It is equal give and take. We call the mother our earth, but what have we done? We've created huge imbalance in the ecosystem, huge imbalance in our life. So modern man the so-called the urban civilization has moved away from nature, lost the wilderness of nature, as a result of which domesticated his or her own true self and live in immense suppression with the patriarchal norms of the society. Which this imbalance has grown so huge that we've led to something called a pandemic. The pandemic is also coming here to teach us how to balance and go back to the basics, how to come back to the heart, how to retreat within, and how to live as a community and not just compete and destroy one another and destroy the earth. So that is why, and this is how the ancient man lived, the indigenous tribes lived. Their life was very circular, as all of you mentioned, that they looked at the moon and the stars and they would know. So their livelihood, their inhabitants was also in alignment with the cycles of nature. If you look at nature, if you look at every aspect of our life, it is cyclical and circular. Our clock, this drum, the day that we have, the sun rises, the sun peaks, the sun sets, and the day ends. The life of a man. We are born, we grow, we age, and we die. The constellations, the sun, the moon, the birds build their nest in a circle. Everything is a circle and everything is cyclical. Now what does that represent? I want to ask you, why circle and cyclical is important? What good does it do to us? Why am I talking about all of this?
And I'm going to wait for people to respond to that. And I'm also just thinking, okay, why cyclical? There's that saying, what goes around comes around. So, you know what? I've actually never really sat down to think about why is it called the circle of life? Why is it not the square of life?
Right.
I don't think I've actually sat down and paid or decided to have like a conscious thought process on it. So thank you, Neelam, for bringing that question up. And while I wait for people to respond, because Neelam wants to hear from you. I do want to say, Neelam, a little bit earlier you said, I'm sorry, I hope I don't offend anybody by saying I'm sorry, we've not progressed. People, let me tell you, this is Neelam, all right? She is upfront. She is going to say it exactly as she sees it. And that is also part of her USP, which you will get to know and experience even more and more. So here it is. So Amrita says no ending. Radha says cycles are nature's way of renewing. Yasna says completeness. Kusum says circle is always complete in itself. Chala says it's a balance which keeps you grounded. A circle completed you too. And Anjali says we always reach where we started from in a circular manner. It's interesting what everybody has said. Shakti says it's a cycle of birth and death. So yes, it's a cycle, therefore a circle. But I still want to ask you, Neelam, why is it the circle of life and not the square of life?
Well, I can't comment on why not the square. The circle, as some of you said, it is never ending. One, there is a beginning and an end, but a new cycle begins. So there is flow, momentum, and movement in a circle. I kept mentioning sacred circle. Even when we do workshops in a physical reality, we never have a classroom arrangement. We always have a circular arrangement. Even in the drum circle that we did, Neelu, if you remember, we had made all of you put the chairs in a circle. We did not want those square. Why?
Right, absolutely.
Because in a circle, everybody is equal. No, and there is interconnectedness in a circle. What has happened over a period of time? We've forgotten this circular and cyclical way of life, and we've become more linear. Each day of the day is same. At 12 o'clock in the night, we are working as similar as 6 o'clock in the morning. We are sleeping at 3 and we are waking up at 12. We've terribly screwed up our bodies. Sorry for the word again. Screwed up our bodies. And we've invited a whole bunch of health issues because we started living a life which is not in alignment to the cyclical and the circular way of nature. So that is one. We've introduced a lot of this is mine, this is yours, and a lot of differentiation. Even in the spiritual circles, we talk about oneness. But what is that oneness? How do we get back to that oneness? Because we continue living a masculine life, we continue living a linear life, but only in a circle, we are united. We are one. So the leader may be a part of the circle, but is still a part of the circle. There is no hierarchy in a circle. There is interconnectivity. And also there is flow. One thing changes to another. If you look at even the emotions, they are also cyclical. They rise, they peak, they fade, and they end. If we allow the cycle to flow, if we don't attach and indulge, then the cycles become messed up. So that is why cycles teach us that spring has to go to summer. Spring can't say I'm happy being spring. I don't want to grow to summer. Spring can't say that. Summer can't say, oh, growth has happened. I want to stay here. More growth, more action. No. Summer has to decline to autumn, where the shedding starts happening and the activity starts slowing down. Autumn has to give way to winter when every life dies. When all the leaves shed, there is pause. If you look at mother bear, if you look at bear as an animal, they spend 6 months of winter in hibernation in the cave, which is the feminine way of being, which is rest, recuperation, no activity, and 6 months of spring and summer as hunting. So they also follow cycles. Animals follow cycles. But we have moved away from cycles, as a result of which we've invited terrible disharmony in all aspects of our life. In our health, in our soul journey, in our relationships, in money, in everything. We are over fatigued. What did the pandemic force us to do? When COVID happens, all activity literally had to stop. The overworked economy had to pause. The overworked body, of course, we had challenges of doing all the household work, Bartan, Jhadu, Pocha, BJP on our own, but that's a separate matter. But the activity had to pause, and we were forced to go within. The focus always is outside, outside, outside. So the pandemic forced us to look within and face our trauma. And that is why it was difficult for people, because we're so used to being busy, we don't know what to do with rest. But if you look at nature, spring and summer is masculine seasons. Autumn and winter are feminine seasons. So as Chola rightly pointed out, there is balance in the circle and the cycles of life. And the crux of shamanic way of being is also this balance, which is what we have moved away from. And when we come back to that balance, then we invite health and wealth and harmony and everything else. And that's the importance of cycles and circles. And that's the importance of bringing back these ancient teachings in this current times, because the universe, the guides up there are knocking. Hello? If you can't listen now through illness, through so many deaths, through so much trauma, when will you wake up? So this is a wake up call, and hence these teachings are more important than ever they have been.
And of course, it is so nice to have you explain these things in a very simple, soft, gentle manner, because it can be taken, as an explanation. It can be taken to other extremes also. So I'm glad that it is as simple as this to understand. And for a moment, stepping away from the beautiful philosophy of it, I'm going to come to the grassroots of it, at the crux of it. Basically, at the end of the day, what is it that, like you said, we just want more. At the moment, though, we also want to know, Neelam, that okay, we have to go back to this way of life. We have to come back into living our life in the form of a circle. It's a good thought. How do we do that? How does shamanism actually impact us, in the sense that how is it helping me with a health concern, or a wealth concern, or a relationship concern? I have a headache. How is shamanism helping me with my headache? What is the cycle I have to go and hunt for? Is this going to complicate me further because I have to think so much? Or is it really as simple as ABC? I know that's a huge question. Sorry. But
no, the answer is in your question. Is it going to complicate us? I want to ask you and the audience. Was the indigenous life complicated or simple?
Quite simple.
Correct. So it is bringing us back. That's what pandemic actually did. No, Neelu, it brought us back to the simplicity of being and living. So that's one. Two, if you study any branch of medicine, including Chinese branch of medicine, some organs in the body are masculine, some organs in the body are feminine. And when either of them imbalance, that is what gives rise to illness. So the same will apply to all aspects of our life, all illnesses, all our wealth issues and abundance issues. And the body of work consists of teachings and processes and tools and healing methodologies which will help us align back to the philosophy, to the concepts that I'm talking about. So that is why shamanism is, of course, consists of body of wisdom, body of learning, body of tools and techniques, and above all, it is a way of life. Coming back to your question, how does it affect? I teach also women's related work, so I'll use women as an example. The circle of life that I talked about, women carry that nature because we call Shakti as Prakriti, which is nature. Women intrinsically carry this in their body through their wombs. And every month, through their menstruation cycle, they live this cycle. And two phases of our menstruation cycle are masculine and two phases of our menstruation cycle are feminine. Now, there are n number of cases, I can go on and on, where women have moved away from their feminine principle and become more masculine. And this has caused immense amount of imbalance within their own womb. And all the womb related illnesses that we see today are because of this disconnection from our inherent nature. So coming back to the philosophy, when mankind disconnects from who or he or she truly is, from their soul self, from their unique essence, from their true nature, which has happened because of disconnection from Mother Nature. This gives rise to a lot of illness, a lot of imbalance in their health, wealth, and other aspects of their life. We move away from the journey of our soul because we are living the egoic desires, the desires coming from the egoic mind. We never question, what is it that I really want? What is my true nature? What is it that my soul wants? What gifts am I here to share and contribute to the world? So the teachings take us back to the journey of the heart, back to the journey of the soul, back to the journey of the body. Through these cycles, there are teachings and processes which bring us back to wholeness and health. And of course, there are healing processes also involved which help us to heal this imbalance which has come about in our lives. If that answers your question.
Yes, it gives me a good idea, and I would like to put this out to the audience as well. If you have any questions so far, please feel free to post them. We will bring them up because let me also let everybody know that Neelam had set an intention yesterday that I'm going to ask, that she's going to ask her guides and her angels and her power animals. Oh, and by the way, power animals is coming up very soon. And the thing that you're going to guide me about what needs to be said on the call today. And I was like, but then if I come in with something, am I going against them? That's not fair on me. That's too much pressure on me. So Neelam said, you will also put the intention that if I come in with a question that is contradictory to anything, it is also coming from you only. It is also coming from the power animals and these. So if at any point of time it suddenly feels like Neelam and Neelu, oh hello Neelam and Neelu. Neelam and Neelu are having their own separate conversation. We are paying attention to what you want to know and want to ask as well. With that said, Neelam, you just mentioned that the women example, that women have become more masculine and are moving away from their inherent femininity. Would I be correct in understanding that in the roles that women are taking on today, and I don't mean this in any other way, but as just a question as a factual question, you are managing the house, you're working, you are being both mother and father most of the time. Women tend to look after their elders and their youngers more than men tend to. Please know this is not meant to be taken in any other way, but as a question that is being asked. So please forgive me for that as well, especially all the men on the call today. Please know it's
you will also be taken care of. I'll talk about men too. So yeah, go on.
Yes. So is that what you're referring to when you say that women have become like more mass? Is that what you were referring to when you said that?
No, no, not really.
Okay.
So coming back to men, men have also moved away from the feminine principle. So the intrinsic, one of the fundamental principles of shamanic way of being is balance. The balance of the feminine and the masculine way of being. The entire collective consciousness, including men and women, have become more masculine. What is masculine? Like the day, going out, taking action, logic, uh,
Right.
expansion and all of that. In
Got it.
that, the outward growth. In that, the internal growth, the descent has suffered. So in ascension, we forget the descent. Look at the tree. The tree has the roots going down equally into the soil. It will go into darkness, it will receive nourishment from the soil, it will receive from sunlight, it will receive from moon, air, rain before it grows up tall to give to the humanity and is outward action. So what have we done is we've forgotten to pause, we've forgotten to retreat, we've forgotten to enjoy the fruits of our expansion, and we've created this huge imbalance in the process of more and more, to that extent that we've gone into wars. So we've forgotten that softer, gentler, nurturing part of the feminine, the collaboration that I spoke about in the opening of the sacred circle, the intrinsic nature of, being caring and action oriented is masculine. The feminine oriented would be retreating and rest. So yes, women in the course of more action and more doing have become also like that. Their bodies have become like that, very logical and tough and tight. So obviously we hold stuff and then we attract a lot of illness, and that's what has happened to men as well, because we have not been taught any better that, oh, it is not good for men to cry or express emotions. Emotions being a feminine part of the being and emotions being cyclical. So we all hold that within our bodies and then we don't let them move because we don't express, and that's why they get stored, and that's how they illness. So women can take any role, men can take any role, as long as logic and intuition both are at play. Rest and action are both are at play. Night and day both are at play. Expansion and inversion both are at play. So the essence is important. Of course, women have forgotten to rest because there is shaming on people to rest. Not just women, men also.
True.
We,
So I
we
agree.
hear from childhood, don't sit idle, don't fantasize, don't daydream, don't rest. But we have to understand, this is what I was talking about, cycles of nature. 2 seasons, full action, spring and summer. 2 seasons, slow down. So if women understand their bodies, the PMS and the menstruation phase is a phase where they have to slow down. But if we work 16 hours a day, even in the PMS and the menstruation phase, then obviously bodies take a hit. Then we are not accepting our own intrinsic essence as a woman, and then we are contrary to our true nature, which brings illness. So likewise for every human being, for man and woman both.
Right. And okay, so questions have come in, Neelam. Just taking a quick moment for that because, all right, who Radha actually wrote saying simple life earlier when we were talking about. So she said, so true, dal chawal never tasted heavenly in all my life, but in the pandemic. And what she's asked is, how do we start now that we have gone off key for so long? Where do we start? And she's also thank you for your beautiful wisdom. And Sarita has said, hello, Neelam. Thank you for sharing a wonderful philosophy of way of life through shamanism. Can you share how or what are those rituals or practices that will help one to connect to their inner consciousness? Sarita, you have pretty much taken the words out of my mouth as well. So Neelam, do you have an answer for Radha?
I need the first question again, if you don't mind.
Radha has said, how do we start now that we have gone off key for so long? Where do we start? And Sarita has also asked, can you share what are those rituals or practices that will help one to connect to the inner consciousness? So both of them are asking more or less the same question.
I'll answer one by one.
Yes.
So the first,
Radha.
For women, I'm not biased, but it is simple because we can start aligning to our menstruation cycle. And this is just a small tip, more obviously follows. But since you asked, our pre-ovulation and our ovulation phases in the 28-day cycle are full on action and outward activity. And then PMS and menstruation are slow down. So 2 phases are masculine, 2 phases are feminine. So we can begin there, we can become aware, okay, I'm now hit my period. Can I slow down? Can I say no to socializing? Can I say no to mundane? Can I spend half an hour for myself even if I have to go to work? And then when spring comes, I will have full on action. But if I have not done justice to winter, which is my menses, then my spring, my pre-ovulation will not give me the full benefit. So begin there by understanding about your menstruation cycle. So that is one tip for women. Second question, what are the tools and processes? So as I had mentioned earlier, there are a lot of tools and processes. One of the key principles of shamanic way of being is, like in Hinduism we say कि प्रकृति के कण कण में प्राण होते हैं. Like every particle of nature is alive and has consciousness. So the same is the fundamental principle of shamanism, which is everything is energy, everything is alive, everything is connected to everything else, and everything has a message. So this drum, if I know how to connect to it, has a message. We all know nature is alive, crystal beings, plant beings, mineral kingdom are alive, elementals are alive, nature spirits are alive. This gong is alive, this comb is alive, these glasses are alive and have energy. The utensils that I washed in the kitchen that I washed in pandemic are alive and are speaking to me. So coming back to the basics, that the entire land is alive. The entire universe, animism, which means not just animals, but animism, which is all aspects of life, are alive and are talking to me. So from that perspective, it will be fair to say that shamanism provides the tools to connect to everything and anything. I'll give a few examples, Neelu, if you allow me.
Please, please.
Whenever we would travel to Mumbai for a workshop, we would connect to the spirit of the land. Now, when I say spirit, doesn't mean earthbound spirits, doesn't mean underworld spirits, etc., etc., gory spirits. No. Spirit comes from the word soul, which means consciousness. So we would connect to the soul or the spirit of Mumbai. We would say, the land of Mumbai, we are coming. Please give us your blessings. Align with us. We would pray to the ancestors of the land to take our teachings to those households which need the most. We would connect to the aircraft. We would connect to the spirit of the road that we would travel on. To that extent that when I had first gone to the US to meet Paul in 2012, we both connected to the spirit of my visa procedure because US visa is difficult. So we connected to the spirit of my US visa. We were shown where the hurdles will come, where the paperwork will get stuck up, what should we do to change it or, align ourselves better with the spirit of the visa, etc., etc. And then I got the visa and I flew. So we can connect to the spirit of our business, spirit of our projects, spirit of our home, spirit of our relationships, anything, and even to that extent, the spirit of this call. Anything and everything is alive and is speaking to us and giving us messages. So that would be one takeaway for you, if you can, in whichever way whether you come for the workshop or not, just spend some time with one element of nature. Find a tree, walk down to a tree, leave social inhibitions behind. See, pay attention to your breath, see which tree is calling out to you. Touch that tree, listen to the heartbeat of that tree and say, hello, I see you, I honor you, I acknowledge you. We learn to take from nature, but we never acknowledge nature. So acknowledge it. Listen to its heartbeat. If you are bold enough and not worried about society, hug the tree and stay there. Align your heart with the heart of the tree. Become one with the tree. And then ask for a message. This is actually one of the exercises we give in the pre-workshop teachings to connect with a tree. Tell me about yourself. What do you need? What message do you have for me? How can I honor you? Teach me your ways. Tell me about yourself. Wise one, grandmother tree, tell me about yourself. In the ancient times, this is how the indigenous man knew these plants are medicine and these plants are poison. If you come back to modern day Ayurveda, back flower, how did they know this flower gives this medicine? This tree will cure cancer. This tree will cure heart disease. This tree will cure, this bark of this tree or the root of this tree will cure gallbladder stone. How? It is through these methods that the ancient man knew, through connection, through observation, and through their participation into nature and partnering with nature. That's how wisdom came. That's how wisdom evolved. So that would be one tip for you to start with, to connect with any aspect that calls out to you. And in fact, we will be doing an exercise to that effect tomorrow.
Right. Yes, that is coming up tomorrow. Lots more today also, actually.
Yeah.
Some more questions have come in. Neelam, just bringing this up very quickly. So Vikram's asked, does shamanism help somebody guide accurately as to which business one should do? And that message or answer turns out to be the best decision or guidance.
Can I have you repeat the question again?
Yes, please. Vikram has asked, does shamanism help somebody guide accurately which business one should do? And does that message or answer turn out to be the best decision or guidance?
I'll take a few minutes to answer this differently.
Please.
Shamanism takes us back to our core nature. Who are we as a soul? What is my intrinsic nature? What life am I here to experience and honor? What am I here to serve, be and contribute? And what are my intrinsic gifts? And so, so whenever anyone comes to us with an illness, with business not working, with job issues, with relationship issues, the key difference would be, where are you not yet aligned with your soul and your true nature? So the exploration and the diagnostics would be taken regarding your question to your helping spirits, to your guides, to your power animals, and to your soul as to what would be best in alignment with your true nature, what you are here on this physical reality to experience, such that there is abundance, such that there is harmony and alignment with who you really are. So that would be the way of exploration for finances, for business, for illness, for relationships, for anything.
Right. And it's thank you for that, Neelam, and that is interesting actually, because now I think a few times I've heard you also mention the soul's journey, the soul's journey, the soul's journey. So I will come back to that. What you just mentioned, that when somebody comes to us with this, the diagnostics of it involves where in not alignment with your soul's journey you are. One question before I ask anything else, Neelam. So does that mean that you must just go to a shaman and find this out? And does that mean therefore that the learning of this for your own self-work is not that simple?
It is very simple actually, because the tools, as I said, so I'm talking about the essence and the philosophy of the teachings. However, it does comprise tools and techniques which teach you how to journey like the shaman traveled to the alternative realities, how to go to those wisdom centers and the learning centers and the healing centers and bring back knowledge, wisdom for yourself and for your clients, how to connect to your soul self. What is the role which the animal guides play in empowering you? In which aspects of your life have you lost away power? That your money is not working, finances are not working, business is not working, health is not working. And how to retrieve that power? What has trauma done to your soul? We always talk about body health, mind health, but we never talk about soul health. So what causes trauma to the soul? How is the soul choosing to express itself through me? And how can I become aware of that? What are the ways and the teachings and the techniques available because of which I can listen to the whispers of my soul? I can connect to my guides and animal guides and empower myself. Because it is easy to say, Neelam, you need to have courage to be a leader. But where does this power of leadership come into play? That's wherein our power animals come into play. And that's where the teachings go. Who are my primary power animals? What role do they play? Is it enough to know that I have a spirit animal? What to do with that spirit animal? Which power does it bring? How can I work with that animal guide? To live my day to day life with simplicity, in alignment and rhythm and harmony with who I really am, what do I need to do? So these are the practices which actually help us through these teachings and through this learning.
Nice. And so that's where the soul's journey comes in. That the journey that the soul has undertaken, for which in this lifetime you are a physical representation. That is it, right? And to connect to that soul, to your soul's journey, to know, then you can rectify that in your this current lifetime and allow your soul's growth to keep progressing. Did I get that right?
Yes, and I want to add one more thing. We all talk about liberation. But tell me one thing, and this is a question for everyone. If I am operating out of my egoic desires, out of cultural conditioning, what society has taught me to do and be, and I do not even know what my soul desires and what my soul journey, what my lessons, what my gifts are, and they keep accumulating lifetime after lifetime, then the soul journey is not getting over precisely because of this. And imagine if everybody, and this is my dream, if everybody aligns with their soul journey, do you think there will be any scope for insecurity, jealousy, competition, violence, abuse, wars, greed? Because I will be fully aligned to who I am, and that itself brings so much fulfillment, rhythm and harmony in my life. I don't need to cut somebody else in order to prove myself superior. That insecurity goes away. So that is the best part. It teaches us to be who we really are and own that. You know, we have learned I should be my authentic self and I should be who I am and da 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 da. But who? How do we know? Yes, well, shamans were storytellers, you know, so I'm telling a story. So, but do we really know who we really are? And so, the more we are not aligned with our soul, with our true self, with our true nature, of course we are disconnected from nature. That's what the interconnectivity is. And that's wherein these teachings come into play.
Beautiful. And Yachna has asked, what connection can be made of shamanism with past life regression therapy? Is there a connection?
So, with shamanic tools, everything is possible. Past life is just one of the aspects. There are realms in which we travel to in shamanic world, which we call as the non-ordinary reality, which is the lower world, which is the realm of our power animals, the upper world, which is the realm of our ancestors and guides and light beings, and the middle world, which is the non-ordinary version of this reality. So we can view and heal past lives by journeying into the middle world or asking the help of our guides. And we can see we don't need to go through that 1 hour process of past life, if that's what you mean. So we can heal inner child issues, shadow work, any work is possible through shamanic methods. So if that answers your question.
Yachna, let us know if that clarifies things for you right now. NGG has actually written in that, Neelam ji, from your explanation of getting connected to trees, I walked down to my childhood day when a guava tree in our garden used to attract me. I used to feel as if Tree Mother is inviting me to climb on her branch and receive love, happiness, and peace from her. My holiday afternoon hours were spent with her.
Awesome.
So nice. So when you were talking about it, she remembered that. And NJG, thank you so much for sharing that, actually, because you've just given me the perfect opportunity, the perfect timing, really, Neelam, to mention that it's a time for us also to actually now, you know, shamanism is an experiential process, as I mentioned in the beginning, as you're also saying, it's time to definitely get into that. One quick question has come in about the drum. Somebody wants to buy it. Amol, we'll take care of that question after the call. The question that I will definitely bring up is that, is it okay to use leather for any prayer as the skin So the drum, what is the layer? What is the skin of the drum made of?
So
Neelam is basically
historically, the animals were really honored. Even in the
right.
Native American culture, when the agriculture had not come up at that time, or even just corn was there, the primary meal was the buffalo. But so buffalo chose, it's believed, to give its life for the service and of the community. However, the difference being permission was sought. Number one.
Ah,
Two. So today also we take from nature, but we don't take permission. So we teach all of our students, go to nature, you get attracted to any stone, any crystal, anything you want to bring back home, take permission from the land. That's
oh
one.
gosh, I'm gonna cry now. That
And,
is, this is sorry, Neelam, I'm interrupting. This is a casual sentence for you, maybe, but I just felt so overwhelmed when you said that. I think you could see it. My God, I don't, yeah. Thank you for saying that, really. It's such
today,
something.
and it brings emotions to me too because it enrages me the way we destroy nature, Neelu, today.
Right.
The way forests are destroyed to bring up buildings. Do you even ask the land, is it appropriate? Are you willing to sacrifice so that we can build modern day infrastructure today? What cause and effect will it cause on the ecosystem? You don't bother. That is why you use the words dominion over nature rather than partnership with nature. So coming back to that question, so they
About
made
the
sure the
material,
ancient,
right.
yeah. So the ancient man made sure that all aspects of the buffalo were used. And so with the skin, they made the drum. There are many cultures, when the animal would die, they would not kill the animal for making the drum, but when the animal would die, either deer or any other animal, they would honor the animal, take the skin, and there would be special worship and all of that. And with that skin, the drum was made. Today, drums are also available with synthetic skins. The one which I used is goat skin. So yeah, animal and non-animal skin both are used in making the drums today.
Right. And I'm sure, Neelam, that whoever comes to you or whoever asks, I'm sure you will definitely be able to help them with the where is it or who makes this with permission taken from nature.
I will.
Right. So Amol, thank you for bringing that question up, and I'm sure Neelam will take care of this after the call happens. Somebody has asked, Neera has asked, can you share some real stories of people how they have resolved issues with shamanic techniques? Neelam, tell us about yourself.
Well, we were going to talk about power animals and then come back to sharing, no? So I can do that.
That is also true. Okay, you know what? All right, Neera, your question. Can we just hold that for a quick bit? Because actually, there is something that I do want to request you, Neelam, to explain to us and to take us through it. And with that experience, Neera, we will bring your question up again. It is a relevant question. Thank you for asking. We will definitely bring it up once more. Okay. Shivani's asked, are we given guidance as thoughts? If yes, how can we know the thought isn't our mind-made and it's the guidance from nature? So, Neelam, do you want to answer this question or do you want to make her experience the question?
There are actually processes in the workshop that we will do where we teach the technique, which is called a felt sense exercise, which helps us to distinguish between the voice of the mind and the voice of the body and the heart. So we will be covering that. For sure.
That is amazing. That is absolutely amazing. And I think I have taken care of, I think, every question that has come in so far. Neela's question we will hold on to. And okay, somebody's written in. Ritika's asked, I was in Pench National Park recently and went to a lemon tree and asked the tree for its fruits, but did not feel the need to ask the owner as the fruit belonged to the tree. And I felt nothing wrong in doing so as I felt close to nature. Ritika, thank you for sharing that experience. I am taking a question out of that. Was it okay for Ritika to do that?
Well, we should always honor ethics. I would have asked the owner too.
Right. Okay. But Ritika, thank you for sharing. I think there's a certain logic to that also, I suppose, right?
Yeah, we are very huge in regarding ethics in shamanic practice because
right.
We would never do a reading or a journey for anybody for whom we don't have permission. Even if it is a couple, let's say a wife comes to us and says, my husband is having an affair, can you find out? We will say absolutely no, because we don't have the husband's permission. So
Right.
ethics are huge and integrity is huge. So from that perspective, I would have taken permission.
Right. Got it. So, Ritika, I hope you've gotten your answer there, even though I did not really see your question. And I'm actually so glad you brought it up, because Neelam, you just mentioned something very important, the ethics of any practice, which we will also come to back again as in how we progress into this call today. And Neelam, I think it is definitely time for us to go into, and I don't want to tell people what we're going into. I want you to tell everybody what we're going to go into right now.
Awesome. Thank you, Neelam. So one of the ways to connect to our own power and to understand who we really are is through the connection to our animal guides, or popularly known as power animals. It is believed that minimum 1 to 3 power animals in this lifetime have chosen to be with us, to guard us, to protect us, and to help us along the way. And as the name suggests, they bring us power. So each animal represents a specific set of qualities, characteristics, and attributes. In shamanic language, we call it medicine or power. And by applying and working with that animal, we embody their medicine. Let's say, for example, we have an animal X. An animal X has chosen to be with me in this lifetime. And I find out that yes, X is my animal guide. I would build my relationship with X, because shamanism is about partnership with spirit. It's about reciprocity. It is about building a relationship with our guides. Many a times, Neelu, my guides often tell me, you don't ask enough. You don't connect enough. So it's about asking. So we always ask our animal guides for help, what they need, how we can honor them, and so on and so forth. So coming back to what power animals represent, each animal guide represents a specific set of qualities, attributes, or characteristics, which in this lifetime we need to be empowered, or to carry out our soul purpose or soul journey. Or we have those qualities, but we need to enhance them. Let's say I needed leadership quality to teach, and I have animal X. In all probability, the characteristics of that animal would be self-worth, leadership, good voice, etc., etc., etc. And that's why we say that our animals choose us rather than we choosing our guides. So depending on what we have, what we need, we can, one, call upon their help, or certain animals have also chosen to be with us as our primary guides. So in this small guided meditation, we will not go on a shamanic journey, but we will do it as a guided meditation, where we will give an intention to meet one primary power animal. One, we don't have to bring back the whole zoo. One primary power animal who is choosing to be with us in these current times. So I will take you through a guided process. When the animal appears, you will ask, are you my primary power animal who is choosing to be with me right now? The animal may say yes or no. If the animal says yes, you will begin, as I keep drumming, the rapport building process. What does that mean? You will ask, tell me about yourself. Paul would always say, whenever he would meet a girl, to make the girl talk, the guy would always say, okay, tell me about yourself. And then the girl starts talking. So this is what we will also exactly do. So you will ask, tell me about yourself. And the animal will say something. You will ask, what gifts, attributes, or qualities do you bring to me in this lifetime? An animal represents hundreds of qualities, but that animal will specifically bring for you certain gifts, certain medicine, certain qualities, certain attributes. So we want to find that out, so that when we come back, we can work with that animal to embody those characteristics. and to embody that power and to become empowered. Tell me about yourself. What gifts, qualities, attributes do you represent and do you bring to me? How can I work with you? And how can I honor you? I'll repeat these commands as I keep drumming, but I'm just letting all of you know beforehand. What gifts, qualities do you represent? Tell me about yourself. How can I honor you? Because shamanism is a relationship of reciprocity. You take and you give. So ask the animal, how can you honor that animal? If the animal gives you something to drink or eat, don't worry. If the animal bites you or licks you, don't worry. It is absolutely safe. We will talk about the relevance of that later, but just go with the flow. It's an absolutely safe practice. Nothing to be afraid of, absolutely. But make sure your intention is solid. You will repeat your intention 3 times. I am going to meet my primary power animal who is choosing to work with me right now. I am going to meet my primary power animal who is choosing to work with me right now. I am going to meet my primary power animal who is choosing to work with me right now. So that will be the entire process. Any questions before I start drumming?
Yes, I'm just going to very quickly, Neelam, let everybody know certain things where we're going to have the open setup later. So just very quick questions, Neelam. Obviously, when we're going through this, we'll be closing our eyes. So please don't be driving. Please don't be, operating heavy machinery. Is it safe for pregnant women?
It is safe for pregnant women, yes. And make sure you're not driving. You're not on the road. And you are in a quiet space.
All right. And just a very quick reminder, Neelam, just if you begin, there are some questions that came in. Hang in there. We will bring it up as soon as this is over. And then nothing to do with what's happening right now. These are other questions, but we will bring it up.
All right. So all of you just take a few deep breaths. Inhale through the nose and exhale through the mouth with a sound of as I drum, visualize yourself in a daytime walking at some place in nature. Allow the beat of the drum to take you deeper into your quest into your seeking. As you keep walking in the forest, feel safe in your body. Continue walking on a trail that takes you deeper and deeper into the forest, into a pathway, deeper and deeper, bringing you to a stream of water where there is a beautiful stream of water flowing from left to right. And on the right hand side, there is a beautiful waterfall, gently and yet ferociously falling on the pebbles, creating its beautiful sounds of water. And you gently go and sit at the bed of this stream on the sand, the forest and the trees behind and around you. the sky clear above you, the pitter-patter of the birds, the sound of the water, the sprinkles of water on your cheek, the touch of the sand and the earth on your foot soles, gentle air caressing your face, your skin. All your senses are alive and awake. You are open, you are curious, you are childlike. You're facing the mouth of the forest on the other side as you state your intention to allow one of your primary power animals with whom you need to work right now to come and stand on the other side of the stream of water in front of you. And as I gently drum, allow this to happen. As the animal appears, or the bird, it could be a four-legged one, a creepy crawly one, creatures of the sea, the winged ones, the entire wild kingdom. As the animal appears or the bird appears, welcome it, greet it, and gently ask, are you the power animal that I need to work with right now? If the animal says yes, begin building your relationship with your power animal. And if the animal says no, ask it to show you or bring to you your primary power animal. The questions that you may ask: tell me about yourself. What gifts, attributes, qualities, what power, what medicine do you bring into my life? Be open, be curious. Tell the animal, I'm here to get to know you, to build a relationship with you. I trust you, and I want you to trust me. What gifts do you bring? What qualities do you represent? What power do you bring to me in this lifetime? How can I work with you? How can I honor you? How can I work with you? How can I honor you? spend some time with your animal. If you feel like crossing the stream and going to his side, patting him, do that. He or she is extremely harmless. Take time to get to know your power. Take time to get to know your animal. If the animal wants to take you with it, show you its home, go. Wherever you may be in your connection, just thank the animal. Promise him or her to come back and visit him again. To keep connecting with it. To keep honoring that animal. And as you keep doing that, you're only and only honoring you and your own true nature and your own power. And for now, it is time to return. So thank the animal. Thank it for its presence. Thank it for choosing you. Thank it for bringing you its medicine, its power. You will continue learning from your animal. You will continue working with your animal. And with this promise, thank the animal. Allow it to return into wilderness. And slowly start tracing your footsteps back from where you came. Into the jungle, into the forest, on the trail. And as I drum, come back slowly. Thank the forest. Thank the animal. Thank all elements of nature. And slowly return to where you are. Gently return. This is the call back. Come back to your body. Come back to your seats. Slowly come back. If you want to journal, you may journal. Have a sip of water to feel grounded.
The sip of water right now was almost like a sip from from the highest hills, filled
Awesome.
with minerals and vitamins and nutrition, pure water. That it just tasted like that right now. So
Awesome.
thank you for this absolutely wonderful experience. And Neelam, I've had the pleasure, the luxury, the honor of having actually experienced this one or two times before, also with others. And over time, at that time, whichever power animal or spirit animal was needed for me is who had showed up. So I definitely want to ask you, listen, this showed up and what can I, but I'm going to wait for people to put it in. I'm going to be happy that I got to experience this again. And I want for everybody else to please share with us what your experience was like. Did you see? Did you ask? Did you talk? And while we wait for all of you to get back to us, Neelam, I want to ask you.
Sure.
You have very many spirit animals, and as would everybody eventually.
Right.
Today we were calling for only one.
Right.
Shweta, all questions on the Telegram group, please. Thank you. So, how have your power animals helped you? And Neera, I hope some part of your question is answered here as well.
So I'll give a lot of examples actually. So one time, for the first time, like Paul and I were twin flames, and we got married and we founded Shamanic Vision. And after teaching, we kind of went back to the US. And I was not quite feeling at home in California. And I'm not liking the food. I'm not liking this. I'm missing my roots, and all of that was happening. And I didn't realize that I wasn't feeling grounded in the land. And my knees started hurting. I mean, I could barely climb up and down the stairs, and could barely walk. And suddenly, since I'm already connected, the word ostrich started popping up. Ostrich, ostrich, ostrich. I said, okay, this is the guidance that I'm receiving. So I started working with the ostrich. And every time I would have the knee pain, I would work all the ostrich. I would work with it. And before I would remember, within half an hour, my knee pain would disappear. So that is one example of how the power animals worked for me and through me. And then when I looked up and when I connected, ostrich is the only animal who has legs on the ground and has very strong legs compared to other birds. So one of its medicine was rootedness and grounding. So the moment I would work with ostrich, I would feel rooted and grounded, and my knee pain would disappear. Fast forward few years, we are back in India teaching shamanism, and time came for me to go to a detox center, naturopathy center here in Gujarat. And again, I'm having this issue. I'm calling the ostrich. It's not working. What the hell is happening? Why my knees not picking up? And we're sitting in the yoga hall, and I'm putting both my hands on my knees, and I'm doing a prayer. And suddenly the horse came up. I said, okay, horse is about moving forward. It's galloping. It's traveling. So where am I not moving forward? Where am I not embodying the warrior spirit? What do I need to do? Da 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 da. And I'm introspecting all of that. So I'm just praying to the horse to come and strengthen my knees. And Lord, behold, the yoga teacher, and this is what I also wanted to point out, the yoga teacher landed up saying that all asanas are built on animal postures. For example, now when you are aligned, sign symbols and synchronicities. For example, horse, his knees are very strong. Like eureka! So then again my knee pain went away. Many such other examples. And I also wanted to point out the parallels. Although shamanism is not a religion, but it has parallels in most religions across the world. So it is very parallel to Hinduism way of life. We connected with animals. Don't our own Hindu deities have a lot of animal association? Like Durga, the tiger. We don't know why Durga is tiger. We only know courage. But tiger is about, trusting your instincts, that royalty and regality, and trusting the self, an epitome of self-love, and of course courage and agility and strength. And so is Durga. So there are a lot of parallels between animal associations and deities, even in all cultures. And across, so there are a lot of parallels between shamanism and Hinduic and Vedic way of living. So that is one thing which I missed pointing out. So it's very, very close to us as well, because, I opened up sacred space. I called in the 7 directions. When we do a havan in our Hindu culture, we call in the 10 directions. That is the only difference. So the ritualistic thumbprint being different, but it is very much embedded in our way of life. We just haven't learned it spiritually. We just know it religiously. So that is one thing. So yeah, so tiger like that. And then I will share one more example. Me and Paul got married. Paul was an American, but I only had a tourist visa, and we had married as per Indian norms. And So I was going there as a tourist every 6 months. So the immigration kind of suspected it and caught hold of me. And poor Paul was outside waiting at the luggage belt, picking up his luggage, and they detained me. And my passport was taken away. I couldn't talk. I couldn't use my phone. And I'm like, if my intention is pure, my power animals, please help me. I'm not coming here with any hunky-punky intention. I'm pure. I need strength. I need courage. Whatever they ask me in the interview, please speak through me. So I merged. There is a process called merger with your animal guides. So I merged with my power animals. It is believed that when you merge with spirit, you are not representation of spirit. You become one with them. So you are them. So I merged with my lion. I called jaguar. Again, the word jaguar came. So I called upon the jaguar. I went for the interview in the detention center, and they were very happy and hunky-dory. They didn't understand anything about shamanism, but they were very happy questioning me, and whatever answers came from my mouth were kind of pleasing them in some way. And they wished me actually all the best for my stay, and then they released me from the detention center. So this is how my power animals came to protect me. So we don't just feel empowered, we are also protected by our power animals. Whenever we feel helpless, energyless, we can call upon their protection and ask them to circle around us, and they will keep empowering us. So these are few of the examples how power animals have actually helped me. There are many, but these are just some few.
And one more, Neelam, was it that little girl whose power animal was a bear?
Yeah, so one mama came for our workshop in Mumbai, and then she went and journeyed for the 8-year-old autistic child, and his power animal came out to be the bear. The child eventually came and attended the 8-year-old child with ADHD or autism, either or, I forget the situation, came for the workshop as well, for the basic shamanism workshop as well. Cut long story short, the child had some burns and it was not getting treated by any medicine. The modern medicine advised surgery, and the parents didn't want to go for surgery, obviously. And the child, so receptive, Neelu, so receptive, said, Mama, bear is asking for some honey. Now the mother had done shamanism and was wise enough. She googled medicated honey, and she found Manuka honey is actually the honey which heals burns. It took 3 months, but the child was healed without surgery. And that is the miracle our guides and power animals can do, apart from bringing us the power that they bring, from bringing their attributes. But you can ask them for any guidance, any healing, and they will be there for you. They are, as I call it, they are our bestest buddy. So build relationship with your power animals, build a friendship, build an alliance, and build reciprocity.
For this little kid, oh my God, I mean, it's like, you know, Hindi mein bolte na jhatka laga kuch sunke. So when there's that one current just went through just hearing that she actually found that, and in 3 months it was done, and that happened with the help
of the power animals.
The power animals. Oh wow, that is absolutely amazing.
And you know, this 8-year-old kid who came to learn shamanism,
right.
Then mama falls ill, and he does the healing shamanic processes for the mama, and the mama is healed. So such a beautiful partnership built between the mother and the son, and at the home itself, that this 8-year-old child healing the mother. I mean, I am so passionate about sharing this with children that if they learn, they are so receptive. They are so receptive.
Right. And as you said earlier in the call as well, they're still not being exposed to study hard, get a job, buy a house, buy some gold, get a car, get married. That all that has still not been like drummed into them yet. And that openness, oh my, Neelam, and therefore the more open we get to get back to our powered, authentic selves, and that just the thought of it is so empowering.
Absolutely.
You know, just the thought of it, wow.
And to add another dimension, sorry for interrupting, and to add another dimension, why power animals are necessary? Because over a period of time, be it conflict, be it stress, be it illness, be it not being our true self, not honoring the power that we are, this power evaporates. It's like the river, you know. The river is flowing, but if you don't use the river gets stagnated or the river gets violated by others, and the power of the river is destroyed. The same is with our intrinsic power. So there are processes in the workshop where we will go into how we lose our power, how do we reclaim that by using our power animal guides, and so on and so forth. So just for us to open our mind and the expansive vistas of the magic that is possible through these teachings.
Fantastic. And people have posted in. There's Lipika who saw an elephant and he was dancing. Anu also saw an elephant. Ritika first saw a tiger, but the tiger said it was not my power animal. And then came the turtle. There are wolves. Wow. There is the tiger and peacock. In the end, there's a bear, there's a wolf, there's a kangaroo, there are birds, there's a purring cat, there's a lion, and people, there is something behind all of these. Neelam, just tell us about at least one or two right now.
Yeah, so elephant.
After the call, Neelam will let you know about the rest also. We'll just take on one or two right now. Otherwise,
and I would be curious to know what their animal told them about their power. So put that also.
Right.
Because when I reveal the medicine, then it should say, oh, I connected properly. So that will happen. You will build trust in your abilities.
Right.
For example, I'll take an elephant.
Okay. You know what? I was actually going to bring up one more person who actually saw elephant, Neelam.
Brilliant.
And let me just tell you what she's written. Arpita said that I met my animal spirit. It's an elephant. To be more specific, a tusker. You know, I spoke and understood the attributes I have of him. Thank you so much. I am overwhelmed. However, she's not really gone into details of what was this thing, and I guess we do respect somebody's. All right, I just want to keep this to myself right now.
Sure.
So, what does the elephant represent?
Elephant is the true king of the jungle. We call lion as the king of the jungle, but look at the way the elephant walks. With grandeur, with majesty, with grace, with solidity, with grounding. It is believed, so these are all the attributes of the elephant. Elephant is also an epitome of ancient wisdom. Elephant has very strong memory. Elephant will not mess with anybody in the jungle unless and until you mess with the elephant's family.
Right.
So elephant represents very strong maternal instinct, protectiveness around family. Mostly elephants will move in a herd. They will be with family. So maternal instincts, family power, family strength, grounding, solidity, stability, all of this will be the gifts of the elephant.
Nice. Very interesting. And Ritika says that, as I said, she saw tiger first, but the tiger said wasn't my power animal. Then came the turtle. So, what about turtle?
Turtle is an animal of the sea and it travels long distances. There are certain creation myths around turtle as well. Like the Native American associate turtle with the birthing of the land. Even we have turtle with Vishnu avatar and all of that.
Yes.
So turtle is association with a lot of creation stories. It represents longevity and healing. Turtle lives a long life because it travels long distances in the sea. So it represents longevity, it represents ancient wisdom again, and it represents healing and emotional healing because it is an animal of the water, and in shamanism water is equal to emotions.
Nice. Okay, so at least quite a few people saw like quite a few. For example, Shama saw 4 animals and a bird, and a kangaroo took her home, to the kangaroo's home.
So further inquiry is needed as to which one of them is her power animal currently. There can be many, but right now which one was willing to kind of talk to her.
Right. So Geeta said, I saw a lion, took a ride on him, and at the same time felt strong vibrations in her sacral chakra.
Was it a lion or a lioness?
She's written lion.
Okay, because both will have separate medicine.
Right.
Lion is the king of the jungle. The leadership, strength, self-worth, aggression, positive aggression, negative aggression, and primarily leadership and self-worth. And the lions roar to speak the truth. So that is speaking the truth, being one's own power, will be the lion medicine.
And Ritika, Farida, and quite a few people have also written in saying that the story about the child, they had goosebumps listening to the story, to the part of the Manu Kahani. Tejal has written in, And Tejal, thank you. Really appreciate. She's put every details in. She's written, my power animal is the zebra. I also saw the wolf, owl, and snake, but they said they are not my animals now, but were in the past. So I was hugging him. So she was hugging the her power animal, the zebra, and he told her that the quality she needs to work on was leading her herd, communicating, and keeping the little ones safe. He also asked her to call on him whenever she needs to make decisions for her herd.
Brilliant.
How amazing.
Also, one more thing.
Yes.
How do we learn about their animal? What wisdom they bring? Observe them. How do they look? What do they eat? How do they walk? What is their daily routine? If you watch National Geographic, you will learn about your animals. So zebra has black and white stripes, which means it also represents masculine energy and feminine energy. So if I want to ever work with balancing my masculine and feminine, zebra can become my animal. So that's how we learn. I was one day watching a show in US, California, National Geography, and they were showing the great wildebeest migration in Africa. And wildebeest were running, and the lion was chasing them. And the wildebeest ran so fast that they defeated the lion, and the lion could not reach them. Just by this act of observation, I realized it has to be the survival instinct, which could be the medicine of the wildebeest. And then when I went and researched and looked, Lord behold, one of the medicine of the wildebeest was very strong survival instinct. So even if we don't know what our animal represents, one, we can find out by communicating with them, by building a relationship with them, and by observing them.
I'm bringing up one more, Neelam, because there is something super exciting yet to come up, which Neelam will again explain to you. There is, where is this? Sylvia, she says, saw a white bear who guided her to be gentle and loving and yet be in her power. The reason I brought this up, especially Neelam, is that would the color of the animal make a difference?
Many times it is. Not often, but many times it is. Like the lion and the lioness would have a different medicine. Similarly, a white bear, what depends on what white would represent for her. Like if represented softness, so that would bring in that soft nurturing strength. We are always associating strength with ferocity, but softness and gentleness is also part of the strength. So it would represent that as well. Like single wolf or pack of wolves will both have different medicine, because single wolf is about identity and individuality. Pack of wolves would be family and tribe and community.
Right. Okay. And interestingly, Amol, because Neelam just mentioned the wolf, so I'm bringing this up because this is one more that we're taking on. I'm also a lion. And when he asked, I'll just read out what he's written. When I asked, is he my power animal? He pointed towards a wolf. The wolf was standing silently, but then also showed a fierce face. So what you just said right now about it being a single or a
is he challenged in his life to one of his individuality and ferociousness? Right. My question to Amol.
Amol, the question is
Amol, being single, not single, but owning your individual self and that power, that ferocious power, and not letting it be tamed by anybody else, and standing alone in that grounded self, that would be the wolf medicine for you, the way it has shown itself.
And this is not a term that I've coined. It's used worldwide, but we use it very often, like in the team internally, like, like be the boss lady. We say lady or be the boss because we like to keep it a little neutral as well. Yeah. It's the boss program. It's, this is the boss. So this is what you're also referring to here somewhere. Yes, Neelam?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. People, everybody else is animals. There will be references that Neelam will definitely give on the Telegram group after the call is over. But hello, did you know there's something else coming up right now? Especially all of you, whichever power animal that you connected to and that you've written about, Neelam, what do they get to do now with their power animals?
So now I want all of you to put both your hands like this. You may sit, you may stand, and call upon your power animal. Suppose if it is power animal elephant or power animal eagle. I invoke you, power animal eagle. Come and merge and be inside my body. and dance through me, sing through me, chant through me. And all of you will do that. Feel the oneness with your power animal. Feel the change of your body, your senses, your vision, your hearing capacity. And you will unmute yourself if you are in a quiet place. I will drum. You have brought your bowls, your clapping, your chanting. Bring it all in. We will play the music and drum together and feel the animal in our body. Allow our body to move. Allow the power animal to move your body. If it is a snake, you will allow the snake to move you. If it is an elephant, you will walk like an elephant. If it is an eagle, you will feel free. So move, get up from your space, move around as we drum, sing, chant and rattle. And feel free to unmute if you're drumming and chanting along with us and dancing along with us. So we can see you and we can have this shared experience.
Fantastic. And people, very quickly, we are allowing you to unmute yourselves. Please be mindful that this is a group experience for everyone. If you have any kind of sound, forget the racket or noise, even the tiniest sound, please keep yourself muted. If you have drums, if you have the cymbals, if you have a bell, anything, and you would like to be actively here, unmute yourself, play your instrument, dance along, sing along, follow Neelam's instructions. Please do not be driving. And this is safe for pregnant women. Just
not to jump and dance around.
All right. Awesome.
All right. I'll play some background drumming. I'll do the live drumming. I have the thunder drum. I have the gong. And let's create magic, people. Let's go.
Let's go.
Gently allow yourself to slow down. Thank the animal for coming to you. Allow yourself. Allow yourself.
Neelam,
Sorry, could you please unmute yourself?
Sorry, I'm so sorry. So slowly allow the animal to disconnect from your body. Thank the animal for the merger, for allowing you to experience what it feels to be in that power, in the body, in the embodied way. Now slowly disconnect. Thank the animal. Thank your own mind, body and spirit. And gently come back and sit wherever you are. Put both your feet on the ground. Ask the earth to absorb excess energy and have some sip of water.
you know what this brought back? Memories of and people, I have to share this with you. So a couple of years back at one of our on-ground festivals, this happened very impromptu. All right, it was not decided. And the circle just kept getting bigger and bigger. More and more people kept joining. And the experience of it all was so powerful and so amazing. I was in tears. Okay, I didn't know what took over me. I was in tears, and I was like, I'm like holding it. Please hold me. And like, I got all emotional. And Neelam, I want to thank you for bringing this experience online. There were a few people who joined in with their instruments. Thank you also for contributing to these beautiful energies for everybody. This is, for me, it is an emotional experience. So
thank you. Thank you for allowing me to share this, and thank you everyone who participated and shared their experience.
Now, there's a different thing to this altogether. I think you can hear it in my voice more than anything else.
Thank you. And it has been scientifically proven the various benefits of drumming. I'll be happy to bring it up tomorrow, the scientific benefits of drumming and drum circles and how they contribute to various neurological disorders in a good way. So yeah, it's been very scientifically proven how powerful drumming is.
Right. And there is such a, please give me a moment, please allow me 1 minute to indulge myself. There is, when the drums, it's felt here, right here,
the heart, exactly.
Right here, and it vibrates through you. It is not an experience that I have enough words to describe right now. It is just something you feel, and you either feel it or you don't. There is no sitting on the fence with this.
Thank you.
So thank you, Neelam. And Radha is actually written in saying that thank you so much. My power animal didn't want to play as it was asleep. So just respected that and played my bowl. And she sends gratitude. And Arpita, thank you. Arpita says, I agree with Neelam. I never thought there is something like this. It was a beautiful experience. Thank you so much. And Shama said, thank you. Shama has also asked about the kangaroo. Shama, Neelam will get back for the rest of the animals as well. We are a conversation like this, Neelam, it
yeah, even I'm watching the clock, like we're at 8:30.
It can't be like time. It's difficult to keep something like this time bound because there's just so much. And okay, hello, power animal or not, this question came up, and I don't know if anybody else heard my dog just barking because he suddenly started barking very loudly. So somebody actually asked the question, Neelam, and I'm going to right now thank DJ for reminding me to bring that question up, that if you have pets, would they be considered your power animals? And is there a connect to that and an actual one that you would see?
So pets will not be considered as power animals. They may be our guides in other forms.
Right.
But power animal forms, they will be only the wild animals. So like cat in its most feral state, dog in its most wild form, horse, wild horse. So in their wild form, they will be our power animals.
Right, right. Shama, voice is is my voice clear to you, Neelam?
Yes, yes.
Okay, and Neelam's voice is clear to me. Do you want to just check your your Wi-Fi connection maybe? And Radha's also said, I was itching to get my sitar from my mom's place and play it. I haven't played it in 24 years, so
Wow.
thanks you again. And Ritika also said it reminded me of the movie The Proposal, where the granny goes to the jungle and starts worshipping nature with the drums and just dances her heart out. Right.
So thank you for bringing up the movie. Some of the shamanic movies, very rightly pointed out, Dances with Wolves. Yeah. Avatar, its second sequel is also coming. So if you have not watched Avatar or watched it, now watch it with shamanic eyes. It's through and through a shamanic movie.
Yes.
Through and through a shamanic movie.
Absolutely. The tree of life, yeah.
Correct. Oh, yes, completely. All of nature, everything in that is shamanic.
Right. Interesting. Knew it then. Thank you for reminding again.
Australia is another which movie which talks about the Aboriginals of Australia. Right. Again, indigenous tribes. Yes. The Whale Rider, Maoris of New Zealand. These are all very beautiful shamanic movies.
Right. And yeah, there it is. And everybody's send their thank yous and their gratitude. And much earlier in the call, Neelam, somebody had asked, where can I learn shamanism? I didn't bring it up there at that point because there was still just so much to talk, and there is still so much more to talk about. And I'm so glad, Neelam, that you're going to be here with us tomorrow and day after, right, with more on shamanism, with other practices and experiences as well. But for whoever had asked that question and for everybody else, this would be a good time for you to know, okay, what's in store for you as as a learning for this. Just give me a quick moment, Neelam. I will do a quick screen share. Just refresh my screen. Okay, and we're bringing this up right now. Okay, Farida, I'm not sure if I missed your question, and Yachna, your question as well, bringing this up as soon as we go through this right now. So people, you get to learn basic shamanism and shamanic divination with the absolutely fabulous Neelam Nanwani. It is an experiential learning with lifelong support from her. There are two very simple packages. There is the Foundation of Shamanic Practices workshop where you get to heal yourself and others. And there is the second, which is the more in-depth, where you learn divination with shamanism. Neelam, please tell us what this involves. What's the foundation?
Foundation of Shamanic Practices workshop is an in-depth workshop on the basics and the fundamentals of shamanic practices, most of which we talked today. So how to go about that. So you will become a shamanic practitioner, you will heal self and others. It's a live teaching on Zoom with learning and experience. It's a 2.5 days of teachings. 7 days before the workshop, we form a WhatsApp group and we share some videos and teachings and audio. So there is 7 days of WhatsApp learnings before the live teachings. These teachings you can do from the comfort of your home at any time of the day or the week. And after the live teachings of 2.5 days, we continue with 14 days of initiations for 14 days on the WhatsApp groups. This also you are able to do at any time of the day through the course of the 14 days. There are notes available, and of course there are recordings of the live teachings also available. So in the fundamentals or the foundation of shamanic practices workshop, which is package A, which is 2.5 days workshop, we spoke about the ordinary reality and the alternative reality. So we will do fundamentals of that. We will learn how to journey and travel to those realms, one being the lower world. We will do 7+ more journeys into those realms of the lower world, what are power animals. This was just a glimpse. We'll go in much more detail about who are our power animals, how to work with power animals, and how to retrieve our lost spiritual power, and the practical application of working with animal guides, taking guidance from them, how to connect with them, and how to go to their realm and connect. And of course, and one more thing, we have shamanic divination methods. We will work with various stones from nature. We will work with various other methods of divining and divination, and to gain messages. We spoke about everything is energy, everything is alive. So how to tap into those messages. We learn divination methods about those.
Two very quick questions here itself for you, Neelam. When you say at least 7 more journeys into the lower realm, does that mean there are like thousands of lower realms and we're doing only 7, or it's...
No, these are 7 practice journeys which are done for oneself and for each other after we teach the journey process.
Okay, so they're practice journeys. It's not
Correct.
Like it's...
So they're learning and practice both.
Okay, all right. Understood. For the moment, I was thinking you just said upper, middle, lower.
Yeah, so this is
Now,
the lower world, 7 journeys into the lower world. Yeah, 7 journeys into the lower world.
Into the lower. Okay, nice. And the second question that I wanted to bring up right now was actually something that I had mentioned in the beginning, and then we've just been so happy just going from one question to the other. I remember I had mentioned, the dispelling fears around shamanism, which I think we really didn't have to go into. Everyone's been so receptive. Nobody's said anything that they have any fear factor. So all credit to you, Neelam, for this, for presenting shamanism in the beautiful form that it is meant to be. I do want to ask here one thing that definitely has popped up in the past, definitely into my head, like when the first word that comes in is psychedelic drugs.
Yeah, so we don't use psychedelics or psychotropic substances. We will use drumming to get into the altered state of consciousness, as we did right now. So there is a specific drumming method we will use, which takes us to a theta state of consciousness, and from there we are able to journey into the alternative realities. So no psychedelics, no plant medicine, we will use drumming.
Drumming, and as you said, stone, like something from nature that you pick up with permission.
Yes.
Right. Yes.
And then the second half of the fundamentals or the foundation of shamanic practices workshop, we have the upper realm, and we have 6 additional journeys. We meet our spirit helpers, teachers, we learn how to work with them. We have healing centers to go to, learning centers to go through. If I have a problem, how to go to the upper realm and heal that. We will work with nature and elementals. We will learn how to seek answers and guidance for ourselves and for others. So for day-to-day problems, we don't have to go to an astrologer or so and so, but we will learn to find our own answers by these methods. And we'll also learn how to do this work for our clients, for others. And then last but not the least, as we briefly touched upon, we will talk about ethics, the do's and the don'ts.
And of course, there are bonuses. And what are these, Neelam?
So as we mentioned, 7 days free workshop teachings on WhatsApp group, 14 days post-workshop teachings on the WhatsApp group, lifelong support. We never teach and run. Even people who have learned like 10, 12 years ago are still learning. So ongoing learning, ongoing teachings, ongoing revisions, etc., goes on. So lifelong support is there. We help you with your clients, with your family. We form a beautiful tribe where practice goes on. We help each other when we have a difficulty, and we also help you with your clients. And so practice sessions, live revisions for no cost, and the divination with shamanism, which is package B, is also included in this bonus.
And that's the program schedule, where, as you mentioned, Neelam, it's 2.5 days of live experiential workshop. This is happening on the 16th September, 4 to 7 p.m. And 6:30 a.m. to 9:30 a.m. EAT, and 17th and 18th September, 9:30 a.m. to 6:30 p.m. and 12 a.m. to 9 a.m. ET. So these are the 2 options, right? Because, 2.5 days. So 16th, 17th, and 18th. Right.
And the 2 full days, 9:30 a.m. to 6:30 p.m. We will of course have lunch break and tea breaks and bio breaks in between. So yeah.
Right. And of course, as you've already mentioned, that there's a pre-workshop for 7 days on WhatsApp group, which is teachings via videos and audios. And there's a post-workshop, 14 days on WhatsApp group again, which is the shamanic initiation initiation for all. Recordings will be shared for 21 days, people. And of course, you're going to get your notes. And all of this, including all the practices, all the bonuses, would normally cost how much, Neelam?
It's normally 76,000 or US dollars 1109. But for Mystic Lotus specifically, and all of you who join through Mystic Lotus, there is a special pricing valid for a certain period of time, and it is available at 19,999, and it's available for 48 hours only. It's a 78% off, especially for Mystic Lotus participants.
And thank you so much for that. And people, I think you've heard me say this enough number of times now, but I will never tire of saying this. These are the kind of offers that you will not get anywhere else. We have our beautiful speakers to thank for getting these pricings, these price points, these special offers just for all of you on the Mystic Lotus and Dragonflies Tele Summits. And this one being the Healers Training Tele Summit. So yes. So
then there is a package B, which is a shorter one, which is a 4-hour course if you want to learn divination using shamanic methods. So we will work with that. We'll do practice sessions using other elements as well. In practice sessions which come up after the live teachings, like smoke and cloud and bones and shells and so on. Same process, workshop recording will be available for 21 days. It's a shorter workshop for 4 hours.
Right. And here also there you have the bonuses of the practice sessions and the support with clients and family, which is wonderful. Thank you so much for that. And you have your program schedule, people. It's shared on the group. It'll be there in the call replay as well. It's a total of 4 hours on the 11th of September, which is a Sunday. It's just one session, 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. India time and 6:30 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. ET. And the recording, as before, will be shared for 21 days. And all of this with the bonuses would normally cost how much, Neelam?
It's normally 14,000 in INR and $205 in the US currency. For Mystic Lotus, we are offering a 50% off, valid only for 48 hours, at a mega price of 6,999, which is 6,999 and US dollars 103.
This is very nice. And my apologies, Neelam. I think in the beginning, I said this is foundation. And if you want to go deeper, there's the package B. I meant it in reverse. My apologies. Because that is on record, so I must rectify it immediately. And these are, again, wonderful, wonderful offers. And people remember, package B, 6,999 rupees or $103 in your offer. And package A, which includes package B, is only at 19,999 rupees or $292 US. And if reviving the indigenous ways of living and healing is your calling, you can start right away with Neelam Nanwani. Thank you so much for this, Neelam. And there are some questions that have come up actually with the learnings. Amol has asked, is it safe to go to lower realms when pregnant?
Yes. The lower world and the upper world that we will do in the basic shamanism, the foundation shamanism workshop for 2.5 days, they are absolutely, absolutely safe realms. Only and only benevolent and kind beings are found there. And as I mentioned, this workshop has also been taken by 8-year-olds. So we wouldn't allow if it wasn't safe. So it was, and yes, to answer your questions, it is also safe for pregnant women. We once had a woman who was almost 9 months and ready to deliver anytime. And she also came. We just prayed that the call doesn't come during the workshop, and luckily didn't. But yeah, she was also a part of the workshop, and yes, it is absolutely safe.
Nice. Much earlier, I think we were just going into one of the experiences. Jay Rai actually wrote, will it help me connect to my soulmate?
Yes.
Right. That's how you and Paul connected, right?
Yes.
You found each other with this, correct?
We can ask any answers. Like if I'm stuck in my relationships, I can ask, what are my blocks? How can I unblock them? I can connect to the spirit of my unborn baby. I can connect to the spirit of my future home, spirit of my relationship, spirit of my soulmate, anything. It is an endless universe as vast as the sky.
Right. And Neera's asked, Neelam, why is this form of teaching that is knowledge from the ancestors, why does it have a money component The teachings were passed on as a ritual. I know why you're laughing, and I'm waiting for your answer to her. So, isn't this contradictory? Neera, thank you for your question. It is a good question. It is an interesting question. And people, there is never a question that is not okay to ask. All right.
In the ancient times,
Yeah.
when the shaman was a shaman of the community, it was the community's responsibility to take care of the needs of the shaman, the livelihood, the bread and butter, the wellness, all the needs of housing, everything was taken care of by the community. So there was barter system available even then. Even the Rishi Munis in the Vedic system, they taught the students for free, but their needs were taken care of by the kingdom and the kings.
Right.
Otherwise, how would they have lived their life? And now we don't have those indigenous communities and those kingdoms who can provide for me. So yes, definitely there's a charge, and there is no shame in asking for charges, because we value only what we invest ourselves in. Take it this way, people.
Right.
It is not expenditure. It is investment in the self. So do you consider yourself worthy of investing in yourself? That's your answer.
Right. And as you just said, Neelam, we don't live in those times anymore. But
and even they had exchange. Money didn't exist then. Right now, money is the exchange. Simple.
Right. Unless and until Neelam, you and I and Amrish and Nidhu and Shilpa and Misbah and Simran and Neera and Ritika and Divya and Kavita and Rohini.
Well, I'll give my address. Provide for me. I don't mind.
we'll all just go back. We'll all just go move into this place, and we'll do everything for you, and you just do this for us. Basically,
exactly. That's I don't mind that at all. I don't mind at all.
So Neera says, thanks. You're most welcome, Neera, and thank you for bringing that question up as well. So, okay, and I do think we have covered every question. And I know I've said this before, I'm saying this again. Something like shamanism and having somebody like you in front of us, Neelam, taking us through this, it is really tough to keep a call like this time bound. It feels almost unfair because there's so much. And you are the passion to share this vast wealth of knowledge that you have is so deeply ingrained in you. Yeah. I know how much you must have held yourself today in that, that, okay, we're going to do this, and I want to make sure, I want to get out as much info. I want people to experience, let me tell you this. For Neelam, it was, I want them to experience everything. I want them to know everything. I want them to have no doubts. I want everybody to have this phenomenal experience with shamanism. And Neelam, I can say for a fact that I did, and I can say for a fact with the kind of responses that we got back from everybody, so did they. And luckily for all of us, you're back tomorrow, you're back day after tomorrow with different things, people, by the way.
Yeah.
Remember
different that. Methodologies, different processes,
yes,
and different concepts.
Yes, and more. Okay. So do come back. It is going to be same time, 6:30 p.m. tomorrow and day after. Neelam, we are heading towards having to close. However, before we do that, before we wind up, before we say bye to everybody, any last words you'd like to leave everybody with tonight?
Yes, I want to first close Sacred Space and leave us all by a beautiful prayer. I want to read a beautiful prayer. So let me close Sacred Space and then I'll end with a prayer. It's a Navajo prayer, Walk in Beauty. So I want to read that.
Yes.
To the sacredness which exists within each one of us, to all our guides, power animals, natures, elements, directions, who have connected us in this wheel of life through Mystic Lotus, to the spirit of Shamanic Vision and Mystic Lotus, to the mind, body and spirit of all of us, to our own soul, to our own body, to our own hearts, to all our guides and power animals who led this session through me, for all of us. I see you, I honor you, I acknowledge you. To all of you who have participated with such heart and soul, I see you, I honor you, I acknowledge you. And with that, for today, we close the Sacred Space with deep gratitude and love in my heart. I'll read this prayer, Walking in Beauty. It's a prayer from Navajo. In beauty I walk. With beauty before me, I walk. With beauty behind me, I walk. With beauty around me, I walk. It has become beauty again. Today I will walk out. Today everything negative will leave me. I will be as I was before. I will have a cool breeze over my body. I will have a light body. I will be happy forever. Nothing will hinder me. I walk with beauty before me. I walk with beauty behind me. I walk with beauty below me. I walk with beauty around me. I walk with beauty above me. My words will be beautiful. Through the returning seasons may I walk. On the trail marked with pollen may I walk. With dew about my feet may I walk. With beauty before me may I walk. With beauty behind me may I walk. With beauty below me may I walk. With beauty above me may I walk. With beauty all around me may I walk. In old age, wandering on a trail of beauty, lively may I walk. In old age, wandering on a trail of beauty, living again may I walk. My words will be beautiful. I hope. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Neelam and others. And with that wonderful prayer, closing of the circle, wishing you a lovely evening ahead. Wishing everybody a great evening ahead, great week ahead. See you tomorrow. Good night and goodbye.